That's the key. You have to start. Like, if you don't put in any effort to do it, then it's not going to ever happen. A lot of people spend the time thinking about, how am I going to get $20,000 so I can create this thing and da da da, and then thinking about it, I don't have the money, so they don't ever start. Just start. Draw it. Write it down. Start, right? And so,
what's up, world? Welcome to the 62nd episode of Grind Towards Success. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. Today we got another Grind Towards Success interview. I'm here with Josh Lewis. He is a pro, or I guess I should not say pro, but former top college basketball athlete turned into one of Kansas City's top entrepreneurs. Like, he's growing right now in the community. He is the creator and founder of UpdownNightlife, which is an app with just bringing in a bunch of clubs and bars and socializing with people. He also is the CEO of Proxy Media, which is a social media, and not just that, but a branding company, consulting company, and so much more. And today we're gonna hit all that. We're gonna hit all of it, and also another tip here. So you guys watching at home, you future entrepreneurs, you future athletes, or people who really want to start something on their own, this guy is right now was nominated as one of Kansas City's 30 under 30. That's a big deal. That's people don't get that honor. In 2017, right?
Yes.
2017, 30 under 30. That's huge. Gary, put it more out there. Gary Vaynerchuk, which you might in the entrepreneurship, or you might have heard this dude. He was considered 30 under 40. I didn't know they did a thing like that. So he's 30 under 40 and this guy's 30 under 30. He might be on a bigger scale. That's still something. I don't care. So pay attention to this episode, guys. It's gonna be huge. Josh, is there anything you want to add to that before we get started?
Nah, man, you covered it. Thanks. I feel like you made me sound a lot better than I am, but I appreciate that. No, you got it all.
All right, let's go and get to it. So the first question, man. So I'm not gonna lie, I did some research, went to your Instagram and kind of dug back deep, and I noticed that Kobe Bryant was one of your biggest influence as a kid and going through your college days, and how important it is to have that positive role model, positive influence like that. Also, I want to ask you why Kobe, and then how important that is.
Okay, yeah. Well, just growing up, if I'm gonna tap back into my childhood, my parents, my family, Lakers was Magic, Showtime, everything. That's what we were about, Lakers. And so growing up, obviously Kobe Bryant being the best player for the Lakers, I started to watch him play basketball.
Okay.
Basketball was my sport, so I watched him. Fell in love with the way he played. But then as I got older, I had to find a way to understand why he was so good, right?
Okay.
So I did a lot of research on his work ethic, and it aroused me more than ever. Even the people back in the day, the people in the NBA that played against him would even say that he worked harder than anybody else. And so growing up, that was just my thing, to study and understand why he was so good, right? Because you would see him play games on Sunday, and it's like, okay, he's the best player, but why,
Right.
So I was always a kid that just wanted to know why. And Kobe Bryant was the hardest worker. He was a stand-up guy, professional. Spoke well, traveled the world, just a lot of different things. He was very, very intelligent, and so it kind of just inspired me to be that kind of person in my own way. At the time, obviously growing up, I thought I would be the NBA star.
Yeah, I understand that.
And so my job was to try to find a way to be just like him. I wore his number. Basketball, it wasn't a question what number I was going to be. It wasn't like we could go to the cafeteria on a school day and everybody would chant Kobe Bryant as I'm walking in, because that's all we're talking about. If I'm at the lunch table, we're talking about Kobe. So I just grew up as a Laker fan, and Kobe was the best, so I studied him, and then I fell in love with him.
And who else had a positive influence in you? Besides Kobe, who else was there?
Oh, it's no question, my brother. He's a well-known entrepreneur as well. I would say at this point nationally, I ain't gonna get into his businesses because it's a lot, we can go forever, but he's a well-known entrepreneur, very, very strong work ethic, probably my best friend, when it comes to talking and learning about things, just advice on how to move and how to start a business, and everything that I've actually put in the works he's been through. And so I had a role model growing up from basketball, because he played college basketball all the way until now, as him being an entrepreneur. He played D1, University of Nevada, Morehead State. So
Nice.
he played on big levels, and so the things that I was trying to do, he was always there. He had already done it. So I had a role model to go to refer to about whatever I needed to know, small things, big things.
How important is that? Like, especially with entrepreneur, everybody, one thing I hear a lot of entrepreneurs say, the big ones, like mentor.
Correct.
And since your brother's kind of sound like was a mentor to you, or he is a mentor to you.
No question.
So how important is that?
It changes the game. You go into stuff, being an entrepreneur, I'll put it like this. I won't even get into the basketball aspect, but being an entrepreneur, you go through times where you really have to dig deep because you want to quit. It's really hard. You start with no money most of the time, and if you got any type of regular lifestyle about you, that stops. So you have to change how you live, and so not knowing that going into it is when it hits you in the face, you can't handle it, right? And so
pay attention to that, guys. Pay attention to sorry, I'm trying to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Pay attention to that, guys. That's a huge nugget he just dropped there.
Correct. And so having a mentor that has been through it, I knew that going into it. So when I quit my day-to-day job, I knew that I was about to face the hardest times of my life. So I was able to prepare. Preparation definitely overrules anything. If you're prepared for whatever, you're able to withstand and hold on to it a little bit longer than most people. And so that's what keyed me to keep going. So I would get all the gems of don't stop, don't quit. Hey, you about to go broke. You're about to be on your butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna have nothing. So just be ready to find a way to make it work. And so going into that, like I said, I knew what I had to do, and so I did it.
Awesome. I actually come back to that too, because you just brought something that one of my questions I have for later on. But before we get to that question, so when you decided to make UpdownNightlife in 2014, you were still in college, right?
Correct.
So
yeah.
When did that become reality for you? Like, when it was like, all right, I'm going to make this app, and I'm going to do this, but I know I'm not graduated yet, but I'm going to put time into this. Like, how did that become a reality for you?
It's crazy. So in college, and I hope Venable sees this, my mentor, my advisor in college, so I was a marketing major, and he was my guy that I would go to for everything. Really cool dude, shout out to you. And so towards the end, he knew me really well. I didn't follow the rules. I did what I wanted to do, and he would always mention different things like, man, you should kind of go into the business for yourself, because you know the work, you know how to market, you're really good at it, but you don't do what I say. Like, you just do your own thing, right?
Yeah.
But you do it well, so find your own niche or whatever. And he told me that a few times, and so as that was going on, I started off as the guy that didn't drink, didn't go out, didn't do anything. By my senior year, which was actually my junior year because I went back, but by my last year of basketball, I was going out a lot, right? And so I kind of fell in love with it. Not even with, like, I wasn't a drunk guy in the club. Right. I was a guy that just liked to be around people.
Socializing.
Correct. And so I seen that I liked it, and so I did one event for our graduation party. I did an all-white party, and it blew up, and it was packed, and I was like I made a lot of money doing this.
Like a light bulb moment.
Yeah, like
a light bulb
snaps.
moment.
Like, this is, and it's fun and it's cool and blah blah blah. And so that's when it hit me. And then I started doing my research, asking my brother questions about building your own business. And so I knew technology was the thing back then and now, even more now. And so I knew I had to find a way to get into that. And so that's kind of how the app came about, events app thing. So
what was the first step to that? Like, he was like, I'm gonna go in and do all this by myself. He was like, hey man, I need your help on this. Hey, I need your help on this. Like, did you get a team together, or you was like all in,
at that
all
point
me?
in time, I knew I needed a team. I knew I couldn't afford anything, or I couldn't ask for someone's time without paying them any money.
Yes.
Which is still actually a very, very tough thing to navigate through. But so no, I started as me. The idea was mine. I spoke to my mother and my brother, so I guess if they were my team, my family. But I didn't get a team until last year.
So
to be totally honest, I had, now I have a team of, you could say I have a team of 5 consistently. And so, but that didn't, like I said, that didn't start till last year. So I was 2 years in the game by myself.
Really?
Just because you can't ask anybody to do something if you don't have your vision down.
Exactly.
So I had to wait until I knew what I wanted and then advise the team to go get that. So.
Okay, and like on that team aspect, like business partners and stuff like that, how'd you know who to trust? How you know, like, was it friends or was it like?
It's funny. I still don't know who to trust. I'll be honest. That's a thing that you're going to run into as an entrepreneur. You're going to hit roads where you actually pick the wrong people to do certain things. Mm-hmm. But that's a part of the process. And so I've dropped off in the past 3-4 years. I've dropped off and picked up 4 to 5 different people, and my team ain't even that big, right?
Right.
So I ran through, not ran through, but I've witnessed what not to do based on messing up. And so we started with the team, and I don't have that same team at all anymore. I have one that has stuck with me since the beginning, but other than that, it's a brand new squad. So you don't know ever, right? Because usually if you're hiring, it's really hard. If you're hiring or teaming up or partnering with someone, you want to find people like you, but then when they're like you, they also want to do their own thing. So the entrepreneur world is really, really tricky because it's like, all right, I would love to grow my business through you since you have a platform, right? But then once they get there, it's like, all right, now I can do it on my own. I don't need you. And so it gets to a point where you want to try to develop partnerships instead of someone working for you. You develop something where you get this and I get that, money-wise, whatever it is, and then you're able to grow with that person.
Both
so when
eat
exactly.
together.
So it's not like you're working for me. You don't have to quit. You can do what you're doing, and we can find a partnership in a way to connect those two things. Mm-hmm. And so when you grow, I grow, and we don't have to clash heads. I started off thinking I needed people to work for me. Everybody wants to do their own thing, so let them do it, and then you create a partnership, which I'll tell the world that is going to be the new thing. The gig economy, partnerships, those are the niche for the coming world. People are not going to be working for somebody forever. That's going to change. More entrepreneurs are being built, so learn how to develop partnerships with other companies and other people. So.
Hey, both people got to eat. It's about that. Go back and replay that, guys. Re-listen to what he said 4 or 5 times. You young entrepreneurs out there, and trying to figure out, I'm trying to get a team. There's some big nuggets right there he just dropped. So Now, Proxy Media, this came up in 2016.
Correct.
You had UpdownNightlife going.
Yes.
And you was like, and from what it looked like, it's like to me, he was like, all right, got this, but I also kind of want to work on this. So how did that come about? And then also, what is it really? Because I looked at it like, oh, it's the social media like business, and at this day and age, it's like the fitness industry. Everybody's like, I'm a fitness.
Correct.
What's the one I'm looking for? Influencer. I'm a fitness lifestyle person, and like you look at that, and you also get, oh, here's my social media company. Here's my social media company. Here's my social. Here's like I've seen 5 social media companies plus. Just being back in Kansas City.
Correct.
So like, what is yours really then? Is yours just that, like everybody else, or is yours different?
Yeah. So first question, how it came about. It came about as I was saying when I was building UpDown, I was developing partnerships, and I started to realize that was key. And so as I was doing that, a lot of people would come and see what UpDown has created, and it was like, how did you get that? How did you get that video? How did you get those pictures done for those promo girls? How did you get this, that, and the other? And so what it was I was giving it out for free for a while, not really noticing what I was doing. Then I realized that's a business model. Like, people need these things. And so I was like, I'm gonna create a media company that can help you in any type of way to build your brand. And so no, it's not a social media company. We offer social media consulting, yes, but we do a lot of different things. We do video production that we partner with the company One Mind. We do photography. We do a little bit of everything. Like, we build your brand. We got graphic designers on board that have their own companies that when we need, say you need a flyer done for your event, or say you need just some social media content period for whatever your business is. We have people that do that. So I've developed so many partnerships with so many companies that we've developed business models to both make money through that platform. And so Proxy Media is a platform to build your brand, not really just social media at all. You don't have to post anything. We could build your website. We can create an app for you. So it's just different avenues, different things that you need. So it's just a way to build your brand. It's not just focused on social media. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, man. So next question here. Somebody who wants to start their own like personal brand, they want to get out there, get more notice, but they don't have the money to. and they want to shut down personal brand on everyone's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You can do Twitter, like I'll say Twitter because it's still relevant. It's not gone.
Correct.
They want to shut down personal brand, like how they do it without having to go get bots and get into these group chats and these what's it called, Instagram influence rooms and stuff like that, or have to pay somebody. And the reason why I bring this up because Entrepreneur did a video a couple of days ago, maybe last week. At this time, actually, it will be a month ago.
Okay.
But what they did is show like how this dude grew his Instagram account from like 600, 500 people to 17,000 followers in the span of like a month. Now, like in today's age, I hate to say it, people look at followers and like, oh my gosh, you got all these followers, you got all this stuff, which they're really forgetting about the value that a person brings. Where you have 500 followers, you still bring value to a lot of people.
Correct.
But people are so obsessed with that. So I want to bring up to the fact, like, how can somebody grow their brand without like getting these influence rooms and paying somebody overseas? Like, hey, can you run my social media? Because one, you do that, you're losing yourself. You're not authentic anymore. So how can somebody sit there and don't fall in that trap and like, hey, I want to grow this brand, I want to be an influence, I want to make an impact without this, if you want to look, I always call it cheating, because you're not being yourself, you're not
correct.
doing something somebody else. So
that's something I've done, my bad. I would say, let me see, I was at probably 6 months ago, I was at about 4,000 followers, and I think I'm at 11K now. But 6 months is a long time, right? But what it is first off, get the money crap out of your head. Mm-hmm. The money doesn't do anything for anybody. So yes, you could pay somebody to grow your following, but if you're starting off with no money, you don't need money to have an Instagram. You don't need money to make a video outside doing a backflip if you do training for backflips, whatever. I'm just giving an example. But the key is consistency. I wouldn't say pay to get in a room or a place where people are influencers, but be around those people and do things like them. So like, it doesn't cost, for me, for instance, I have 11K. It doesn't cost for you to come stand by me and take a picture. That's free. You can ask me, we'll take a picture. You can say, I value what this guy does. And so what it does is it's consistency, it's being active, it's being in the right place at the right time. That's an art. People say it's luck, but it's really an art. Like, it's an art to be in the right spot at the right time for the right things. But just always be ready to take a picture of that. Always be ready to get a video of that, right? Because you never know what that moment means. And so I get a lot of stuff like today we're doing this video. I have one mind back here today doing video of this so I can put that stuff on my social media. You know, instead of, if somebody gets an interview, they come to the interview and they're like, oh, I'm getting the interview, I can't wait to post the interview. Well, I'm gonna get the video of the interview, right? So you get extra stuff like that, but it's consistency, which is key. And then also, just like I said, finding that swag to be in the right place at the right time. And if you are in the right place at the right time, be ready to show that. People are kind of afraid to show what they're doing 9 times out of 10 because they're not doing anything. So that's the fake part. But if you're moving and grooving and you're working and you're putting in the time and the effort, you show people that you're doing it consistently. They'll believe it, and once you make believers out of people, they'll start following you, right? And so that's the key. So I think what I've done is I've been in the right place at the right time. I've showed consistency on how hard I work and how into what I do I am, and people believe that. They can feel it. You know what I'm saying? You can feel when a person's genuine when they're in your face, right? Yeah. And so it's the same thing with social media. He's really working. I want to see what that's about. When I was growing up and I followed Kobe Bryant, I believed it, right? So I followed him and fell in love with him. So you have to be yourself, yes, but you have to show people yourself enough to where they believe it, and then they'll start following and it'll pick up. It takes time. People are different. Everybody wants to get 1 million followers tomorrow. That doesn't happen too often unless you come up with the new dance, because that's the new thing.
Right.
Other than that, it doesn't happen that much. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still growing mine, and so it took me 6 months to get 6,000 followers. So that's that it takes time for that. So
Hey guys, listen to that. You can't build an empire overnight. So like it takes time, and that's what anything, not just social media, but business, athletes, athletics. You're like whatever you're into, school. It takes time.
Correct.
It's not going to be tomorrow. Here I am. I started last night. No.
Correct.
Now another question is like to somebody who wants to start their own business. What advice would you give them?
To start your own business?
Mm-hmm.
Gather $175, right? I say this and it sounds funny because that's all it takes to buy LLC. So first off, it would be to start is to start. To start your own business is to start your own business. That's the key. You have to start. Like if you don't put in any effort to do it, then it's not going to ever happen. A lot of people spend the time thinking about, how am I gonna get $20,000 so I can create this thing and and they're thinking about it. I don't have the money, so they don't never start. Just start, draw it, write it down, start, right? And so once you start, you come up with the idea, you come up with the name, and everything starts to flow naturally. But it's about owning in on your idea and just starting. I got a book that's gonna come out pretty soon called Find Your Passion, Know Your Gift.
See, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I saw that on your Instagram. You said book is coming. I was sitting there thinking like, book is coming. And as I was like, well, okay, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say was the start part. I'm not a writer, never have been. I don't even remember writing too many papers in college, just to be honest. But I started on my book, right? And I'm about it's about to be done. And so the key to what I'm saying is that the fact that I started put me in a position to find a way to make it work, right? And so I ran into a writer that could help me, and different things came about because I started. I threw it into the universe. I'm like, I'm gonna write this book. I got ideas, right? And so when you start on something and you put your time into it, everything else comes to fruition. It'll all make sense after that. But that's just the key. If I could say one thing, just start it. Like start something. Just like I said, $175 to get you an LLC. So just start it, so. And to add to that, guys, to add more value to that, because what he said, like, everything he's dropping today, I think you need to watch this episode multiple times. We're not even done yet. So just stop, go back, rewatch some stuff. Listen, if you listen to it on SoundCloud or iTunes, where this episode ends up on, listen to it, rewind your phone, and then go back and finish the episode. But to add more value to that, this episode has been recorded on a Samsung S7, like a Galaxy S7. He said just start. This is on a phone. This is not like a giant camera, mega production. No, this is on a phone. So the add value. 60-second episode.
Yeah,
60-second episode. You don't get 62 episodes or something. So yeah, that's really good. I applaud you for that.
Thank you. Now to add to like advice to starting a business, what's key? Like what key do you have to be an entrepreneur? Like what keys to the entrepreneur or key to being an entrepreneur?
The key from what I've experienced is support. It's so hard. It's probably I don't know if it's anything harder on this planet to do, to be your own boss, to start your own business. You run through so many trials and tribulations that if you don't have support, you're going to be in trouble. And not everybody can create their own support, but you got to have a friend. You got to have somebody backing you when things get rough, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say, and you could ask my family and my friends, I'm probably the toughest thing moving mentally, right? Mm-hmm. But even then, it gets to a point where you have to have some type of support. So if you have a family member that you can speak with on times when things get hard, do that. Therapy, whatever you want to do, realize that it's not going to be done by yourself. My support system, the team that I built, the partnerships that I created, they support really, really high. And so when they want to see me do good, it gives me my motivation. And so find your support. So if you don't have any family, they don't look out for you, go find some support somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And that's a job within itself, but you gotta have some support. That would be the key. Support. I'm sure any entrepreneur can tell you that.
You're hitting on stuff that man, that's good because I hear other entrepreneurs, a lot of them was saying their wives and their girlfriends were their support system. One guy said we was No, the founder of Uggs.
Okay.
He lost his business at one point. Like he ended up selling to another, like didn't read the fine print and actually sold it to somebody else. I get the story right. And he's like, I don't have any like equity in my company anymore. And he's like, the dad's like, yeah, man, you're just the like face. Like you don't have anything. He's like, I was laying on the ground in my room and just kind of moping on the ground, and my wife looked at me and she said, off the ground. Like you are a man. Like get off the ground. This is not the man I married. And he was like, my wife's got my back. Maybe all right. And he like he got himself. There's like the light bulb for him, but he was one. There's another one who like I want to say Grant Cardone. If it's not Grant, somebody else. But their wives was like the backbone for them. They made sure like, hey, we got your back. Keep going. Don't throw in the towel.
Yeah, I definitely could vouch for that. My girlfriend right now, mentally and emotionally, keeps me intact. It's awesome. A lot of the times I can go home, long week, and tired, and don't want to talk to nobody, and blah, 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 blah. She'll keep me intact. She'll tell me, you need to do this. How about you need to look into this? Or if I have an idea that I want to put out, but I don't want nobody to know yet, I go to her first. She'll help me think from a consumer standpoint, from a friend standpoint, from a family standpoint. Like she covers it all. So I agree with that. That's why I said that was the base of what I was saying.
Yes.
Support is what you're gonna need, and if you don't have it, it's very hard to make it as an entrepreneur because you're already alone in the world. So when you go home, you gotta have somebody.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now, what drives you, Josh? Like, what keeps you going? What motivates you? And like day in, day out, like. You talked about how hard it is. Like you could have thrown the towel a long time ago, but you didn't do it. Like what drives you then? What drives you now, and continues to drive you?
So if you do the math, it's 2018. Right now, my son's 4. Started UpDown in 2014. Motivation is all him. No questions asked. Growing up, what my brother meant to me, and how I viewed him is how I want my son to view and see me, right? And so my motivation is not only taking care of him financially forever, but also I knew how deep that was for me. Like I knew growing up, and I had a father that was around, so let me not despise him, but at the same time, it was the simple fact of having a role model that meant that much to me is the only reason I'm here. And so, having a kid is a big deal.
Yes.
So if you want your kid to be what whatever they want to be in life at their mass capacity, you have to show them. And so when it happened, when I found out I was having a son, is when I realized that I have to build something not only financially but legacy wise. When I pass, when he goes to school, they gotta say, hey man, your daddy was Josh Lewis, right? And he's a junior, so he's gonna say me too. But at the same time, that's the motivation at the core of me. Obviously, it's other little things throughout life, but my son is gonna be, he's gonna be whatever. He's gonna get whatever he wants. He's gonna be whatever he wants. He's gonna know that life adjusts to him if he wants to do something. He just gotta go do it. So that's motivation is my son, by far, no question asked.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Next question. What's next for you? What's next for Josh Lewis? What's next for Proxy Media? UpdownNightlife.
So we're relaunching the app before the end of this year. Hopefully, nothing goes wrong. We've been down this road before. So we're relaunching the app. So be ready to re-download UpdownNightlife. It's going to be the tightest nightlife app you've ever experienced in your entire life. Not marketing. I don't care if you believe me or not, but it really is. You'll hear about it from somebody else.
And speaking of that, because we need to break that down, what is UpdownNightlife?
Yeah. So basically, UpdownNightlife app is right now it's a movement until the relaunch begins. Until the relaunch is done. But the app part of it is a social media for nightlife. So obviously, it's a lot of event apps that tell you where to go, where to be. Boom, cute. That's cute. Yeah, tell me where to go. I know my friends tell me anyway. So we got that aspect, but we also have that social media feel, that Instagram, that Twitter, that message, that post a picture, that post a video feel. And so we're adding nightlife and social networking all in one, right? And
okay.
So the key to it is you'll be able to earn points and different things, but the key to it is that you'll actually be able to be on it daily, right? And so we launched in last September, 2016 in September, and it was based on events, right? And so I realized that a lot of people get on and see what they want to do and get off. And so we had to find a way to keep people, on the app consistently. So that's why we added that social networking aspect, and then obviously the earning of points and things like that. So it's a social media for nightlife. It's going to be the tightest you've ever seen.
Be on the lookout, guys.
Yeah.
And what about Proxy Media in this book? You talked about the book too.
Yeah.
It's like you said.
Proxies, I don't really like to put things out there too much, but I've said this before, so I'll say this. Proxy is going to be an app as well. I have an idea that we're working on right now. We're kind of getting some things intact where you could do what you do in person with us on the app, and so you don't have to interact with anybody.
Okay.
Facial, not facial, but in person. But you'll be able to get what you need on the app. So that'll be an app that'll be coming soon. Probably about 2 or 3 years, we'll be all the way ready for that. And then my book, hopefully, is dropping in December. Supposed to be October. We got pushed back, had some things we had to fix. So hopefully in December we dropping the book. It's called Find Your Passion, Know Your Gift. Everything we're talking about today is in that book. I don't like to brag, but I am knowledgeable on being an entrepreneur. I've been doing it long enough to know the ins and outs to the point that I am. And so I put that all in the book. I put my passion, I put my soul. And then I teach you how to kind of find your niche. And so that's going to be a really good book.
Where will we be able to find it?
It'll be on everything, all streaming platforms. So Amazon, you'll be able to buy it on the internet. And I'm gonna do a series. I'm not gonna put it in Barnes and Nobles or anything yet. But when we release it, I'm gonna do a book series, a book signing series where you'll be able to pick it up and sign it at a lot of my events that we do in the city. So it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be really dope.
All right, hey, be on the lookout for that. And Josh, where can we find you? What social media platforms can we find you? Pretty much anywhere you want to put, where can we find you?
We kept it consistent. So my name is Joshua Isaiah Lewis. So anything you type in on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, if you put Joshua Isaiah Lewis or Joshua I Lewis, I'll pop up.
All right. Thank you for coming on, man.
No problem, man.
And
thank you.
No problem. Now, the last question. How do you define success?
Oh, man. That's in my book, so I'll give you a little secret. So basically, I define success based on happiness. Not everybody's going to be as successful as everybody else, but once you find happiness, you're successful. So you might be broke, but if you're happy, nobody's going to be able to change you. No one's going to be able to tear you down. So no, you don't always have to be an entrepreneur. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. That's not made for everybody. But at the same time, you find your own happiness within, you ain't got to worry about it. So just be happy, man.
That's good.
No problem.
Thanks, Joshua.
man.
Thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate it. I want to wish you the best on everything you do, man. Good luck. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Grind Towards Success. Stop this episode right now and go back to the very beginning. Rewatch it, then stop again. Do it one more time because there's so much good stuff. And you guys in Kansas City, try to meet up with Josh. Try to connect with, try to network with him. You got a business idea, some thought. You're like, I want to get out there, but I'm not sure who to talk to. Meet Josh, meet up with him. You can find him on Twitter, find him on Instagram, Facebook. Get out there. Like you said earlier, you got to start. So, thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. See you next time. Keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment in the comment section below, and please subscribe for more episodes of Grind Towards Success, movie breakdowns, or whatever it is you're watching on my channel. I have different stuff from interviews to other movie reviews to wrestling reviews. If you're a wrestling fan, please subscribe if you want to see all that and see what's going on. Also, you can follow me on Snapchat here, follow me on Instagram there to see what I'm doing in my personal life as well as my business and Ninja Warrior. And lastly, you can watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success here. You can watch the last episode of movie breakdowns there. Thank you guys once again. I really appreciate it. See you next time. Keep being awesome.